Here we are with the next episode of Shift Happens Catalyst Conversations. And today I have with me Bram, a man who wants to be surprised. So he doesn't know what is going to happen, he doesn't know what I'm going to ask, but we can just improvise, flow, and see where we go. So this podcast is about transformations and shifts and basically like changes. So maybe we can start with talking about change because I know that you have had many big transformations in your life. You have gone into the deep hole, deep hell, and come back from it to teach other people also how to get out of the hell and become the best version of yourself. So maybe we just talk about your transformation as much as you want, whatever you want to share. The floor is yours.
Sure, nice. First of all, thank you very much for having me on this podcast and to share my transformation, and hopefully it will inspire. So, where do you want me to start?
On the bottom.
From the bottom.
Yes.
How I got there, or how you get out of it?
How you got there first? What
How I
happened
got
to
at
you?
the bottom.
Because for me, it's very hard to resonate. I've always been quite stable.
Yeah.
So for me, it's very hard to understand how people actually get into this hole. I have been in my kind of holes, but never so deep. So enlighten us a little bit.
Sure. Yeah. So first of all, while talking about rock bottom, in my life, I'm referring to a manic episode followed up with a clinical depression and a suicide attempt. So that for me was rock bottom.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it's really heavy. And that's actually 3 years ago. I remember it very well. And how do you get to a point where you don't want to live? It's that's quite a journey. It doesn't happen overnight, I must say. So I ignored many, many red flags and signals from the mind and the body and emotions. I never listened to myself. So what was number one reason I got to rock bottom was probably, well, not probably, I talked about this a lot also with my psychiatrist, is putting myself at the last priority. So it was always everyone else before me. So I was this happy guy smiling around, making jokes for people, acting like a monkey, and people would clap and laugh and throw a banana at me. And I thought as well, I'm doing well in life because everyone is happy around me. But I felt miserable and I didn't know how to deal with myself. I couldn't express my emotions. I didn't know what was going on within me, my thoughts. So what I basically did was escape. Every time something became difficult, my thoughts or emotions creeping in, or I was asking deep questions about life, I was just escaping. And with escaping, I mean drinking alcohol, smoking cigarettes, watching TV, anything to actually distract the mind from what's going on internally. So I never processed anything of my, well, let's say traumas from being a child. Things happen. For me, it was a suicide of my aunt, which had a deep impact. I couldn't process that internally. So I just made unhealthy decisions. That's the summary. 12 years of unhealthy decisions in nutrition, in sleep, and what do you feed the mind, in training, everything. And do that long enough, and anyone will like lose it.
This kind of
It will
also
snap.
it also kind of becomes your identity in a way because you're doing it so many times, you're repeating these bad habits, so it also becomes part of you.
Yeah.
So I imagine it's quite hard to get out of it, but you did get out of it.
Yeah, yeah. It is. It was my identity. I was a beer drinker. I was someone who enjoyed life. My perception of enjoying life was to be with my friends, who I had a very, very, very close relationship with, which was maybe built on, well, universal things of smoking weed, drinking beer, coming together, going to the bar. So we had, but were there really deep conversations around the individuals? Maybe no. Maybe groups just gather together because they have something in common, and that's how a group is existed. But They were really my brothers. And well, that was who I was. I was enjoying life. That's the idea I had. So I was drinking and smoking, and that's getting everything. I didn't know there was more, to be honest. Like, I really didn't know that I could live a life like I'm living right now. I had no idea. Zero.
But at some point, something clicked and you changed completely, and you kind of turned like a new leaf.
Yeah.
So what happened?
Well, the 12 years of struggling with addiction, struggling with depressive thoughts, I would say, something snapped, and I had a manic episode. So I lost it, like mentally, I lost it. I was a maniac for some days. I couldn't sleep. I had only felt love and all these. Well, you could say it's a manic episode or psychosis or whatever. I lost it for a moment, and I didn't know anything at that time. I went to the hospital for 2 weeks in a closed institution in Barcelona, Sao Paulo, which was quite heavy. Very heavy experience actually. And then I had a clinical depression. So being on the couch for 3 months, just doing nothing, being drained. I couldn't even bear the birds like chirping. I would lose it completely.
Wow.
My mind 24/7 was just tripping balls the entire day. My mind was telling escape, run. I was paranoid, I had social anxiety. I didn't even recognize, I didn't even feel the relationship with my parents or my friends. I was totally disconnected with everyone. Well, and at that point, when you're 24/7 with your own mind, something has to change. But I didn't know what, how, or whatever. So I decided for the first time in my life to choose for me. So it was the first time me, myself, was priority number one. Now, what did I desire? Peace. Just a peace of mind, because my mind was so loud. You would look at me and I was just in silence, but my mind was screaming 24/7, like going to bed and hoping never to waking up and just it goes on. So I wanted to sleep forever. So I decided to make an end of my life. I decided to get out. Now, luckily, that failed, and there I was, rock bottom, crying, being like, "Fuck, how pathetic! You don't love yourself. You have no self confidence, and then you cannot even leave." Fuck, that was the lowest of the lowest. Even failing in that, I already failed at everything for my feeling. So I failed in that, and it's quite a big decision. It's not like, oh, let's go for a walk, or it's quite a big decision to get out
It's
of life.
quite final decision, because after
Yes.
once it succeeds, there's nothing after this.
Well, we don't know.
Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I don't know, but so how did I make the shift? I tried to get out. I failed, and then 2 days later, I remember it very well. I was at this little town with my mom. And we were lighting a candle, and I felt this presence of my aunt, who committed suicide when I was 14. And I don't know, I felt this presence, and I made the commitment. I said, you know what? You're on the other side, and you got out of life, but I will overcome my disease. And that was the commitment I made. And that was the turning point, the commitment first. And then a lot of action and a lot of other things. But first thing, commitment. Saying, okay, I'm gonna do everything within my power to overcome my disease. So that was the turning point.
So it was like an internal decision for you that, okay, I want to live and I want to make the best out of myself. I want to test my limits. I want to build the highest version of myself and see what is possible.
No, not at all.
Not at all.
No. I just didn't want to be sick anymore.
Okay. So it started with small steps.
Small steps. I just asked, how can I get better? In a sense of, how can I stop being sick? And in that process, I just kept asking myself the same question every single day. How can I become better? How can I become better? How can I become better? And before I knew it, well, a process we can dive into how that went. But before I knew it, I was at a level where I thought, fuck, I'm like functioning on a better level than I used to do.
Mm.
And I started to reintegrate in society, like working. And I was like, well, I don't know. The average performance level is not that high. Like the expectations are not even that high. I always thought that society expected so much, but my battery was just too drained to perform at any level. Like I was just too drained, so every performance was too much. And now I came out of depression and I started to work a little bit, and I was like, this is not that hard. And just the question never stopped. How can I become better? So I started to grow and continue because it was just, well, it was fun. I had 7 bad days for months every week. And then there was this one moment where it was 6.5 bad days. Yeah. And then it was 6, back to 7. Okay, 6, back to 7. Okay, 5. Okay, 7 bad days, 5 bad days. And it went like that until I came at a point where I was like, but if I can go from 7 bad days a week to 1, then I could go to 0. And what if there's no bad day? Like bad days don't exist anymore. Would that be possible? Yeah.
So it was like a process, gradually getting better and better. Not like overnight success, but building yourself up from 0, or like maybe from the minus somewhere.
Yeah, I think it would be minus. Yeah. Fuck. Yeah.
And kind of also like refilling your batteries. I know that you talk a lot about the batteries, and there are like 4 batteries that you also discuss and that you also work with when you talk to other people. So maybe you can talk a little bit about these batteries and how to fill them.
Yeah, for sure. So I believe personal health is about the 4 batteries. Yeah, so we have spiritual battery, emotional battery, mental battery, and physical battery. And we should charge all 4 of them. And if they're all charged, then we are charged. So we perform. We have a full battery. Like have any device, a phone with a full battery works better than an empty. Of course. Remote control, like a controller, anything. So it's the same with the human body. We're also a device, you know? How is it even possible that people are still dying from hunger? How? Well, fuck, just very deep questions always, because I was a weed smoker, and then you just drift off and ask deep philosophical questions without putting anything to work.
So you just go and daydream and philosophize.
But I didn't do anything. It was just sitting and smoking weed. So
you don't write it down, and it doesn't become something bigger.
It was just
float.
Yeah, it was just those questions for me would be in a spiritual battery. Because what's spirituality? Well, we can go all over the place with this topic, but basically to put it in practice, it's okay. We're alive. We're sitting here right now. Why? How the fuck are we coming to life? We come to life, or we die. What are we doing here? You could ask yourself: is there a mission? Is there a reason, a meaning behind life, or is it just empty? Do you feel connection with something bigger than yourself? Do you believe you got a soul and it might go somewhere else after this life? Or it's just empty. We only got this. Like there's no sense of so spirituality is actually to be driven. Like why would you get out of bed? Do you have something to live for? Do you stand for something bigger than yourself? Even though you might not be able to solve the problem within this lifetime. But people who fight for human rights, people who fight for name something else, like nature, animals, whatever. So you fight for something, and that gives you a meaning that you're part of something bigger than just yourself.
Yeah, I can't remember who said it. I guess it might have been Vishen Lakiani from Mind Valley, but it was Mind Valley related. And he said that if you like focusing on these tiny problems, get yourself bigger problems, get yourself like a mission. Because if you're focusing on doing something big with your life, if you have a mission, you will forget about these little things like, oh my God, he didn't text me back, or, whatever tiny things that might be like your daily worries. So if you have like this big mission to impact many people, you just wake up and you do it, and you don't think about these tiny things like, oh my God, my neighbors are assholes and I don't like them or whatever. This will feel like so small thing.
Yeah.
So have bigger problems basically.
Yes, I love it. Yeah, 100%.
And don't be like super self-centered, but also focus on the outside and what you can give to the world, basically.
Yeah. I think if you got a mission, it's always driven towards making an impact and inspire. Actually, for me, that was the battery which was most drained. Why I got sick, because they work like a magnet. So if one battery is drained, it would just pull the other ones down. So if you have no mission, no drive, well, there's no need to let go of instant gratification, for example. So we just got some pleasure. If you have a mission, it will fill you from within. And well, that's worth it. You will feel good. You will have happy thoughts. You will work towards somewhere. You will treat yourself well. And then your battery is charged. But the other way around is the same. So it will drain you. And now it's the most charged battery, maybe. Like even on days where I train for triathlon at the moment, for a full distance race, it's kind of tough sometimes. And I have this pattern where I'm getting a little bit greedy in training. So I overtrain. I burn myself out a little bit. My nervous system is upset. My gut is upset. So physically, I feel it. And then emotionally and mentally, both is like, can get shaky at times. Like, fuck, what are you doing? Like, fuck this race, you know? Like, motivation is gone for a moment. But then the mission kicks in. Like, just remember for a moment where the fuck you come from. Just remember for a moment. And then look at where you're going. And then it's like, my thoughts change, my feelings change, I take care of my health, and everything goes upwards again. So then that mission, that drive, well, it sparks up everything.
So even like one battery that is more charged than the others, it can power the ones that are more empty.
Yes, definitely. I think we should build on our strength, because it works like a magnet. So if one is very strong, it can help the other ones go up. At the same time, we should definitely improve on the worst one, so it balances out. Keep the strength, but also work on the one that's less drained, because it's not like you just charge one and it will keep the other ones up. It doesn't work like that.
What's the next one, for example?
The next battery would be emotional health. So just let's say the soul comes to the world, yeah? Soul enters this body. Now I'm here, right? 29 years old, I live in Barcelona. What am I doing here? Why did I get here? Well, there was something telling me go to Barcelona. I didn't think of Japan. I don't know. Like, it was not even in my mind. So what? Well, I don't know. People ask why Barcelona? Because I had a feeling I had to go there. There's something there for me. So I want to go. It was not Germany, Munich. It was not Paris. It was Barcelona. Why? No, just that is like, well, following the feeling, following excitement. So the heart functions as GPS. Once we care about how we feel, we know what we want. We know where to go. So it guides us. It's like a guidance. It's like a GPS. And when you make a decision or you're somewhere, you will get feedback from it. So sometimes you can go to a party and you're like, fuck, I'm just here because I have to be polite, because I know these people. But at the same time, you don't want to be there at all. But that's feedback. That's saying, fuck the party. Choose yourself.
Yeah, I have left the networking events like this because I'm like, after 40 minutes, I'm like, I don't want to be here. I just need to go.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel when it's, or what do you want to say?
I wanted to say that I had a similar thing with Barcelona. At some point, first I was coming and going a lot for 1 year, and then I came here like 6 months ago. I just sold my home in Estonia. I took my cat, everything, just finished a lot of stuff in Estonia and just left. Because I was like, okay, I need to be there. I don't know why. I don't know why this city, but it's like, follow your excitement, like you said.
Yeah.
So you're not the only one.
No, and there are two things in movement, I believe. You can go towards to somewhere or away from. Now, if it's towards two, they truly want to be there. If it's away from, you're just running and escaping. So that's a big difference in movement. If it's like, I want to be there, it's specific. If it's, I don't want to be there, you can go anywhere. So then it doesn't matter if you go to Paris or Japan, or it's just away from where you were, which is not a good movement, I believe. Sometimes it can help, but yeah, so that's emotionally. If we know how we feel, if we care about it.
So the heart is the GPS.
Yeah.
As a man,
At the same time, sorry, yeah.
As a man, is it easy to just follow your heart and emotions?
No, not at all. The following emotions and diving into the heart is one of the bravest journeys, I believe, because you gotta. We all have experiences where we got hurt, so people close their heart. They're like, "Well, fuck the heart as a GPS. I got this and that trouble, and I heart broke, and then, well, yeah, everyone got it. Get the fuck over it." It happens. Everyone has this, gets the heart broken. If you didn't, well, too bad for you, because it's a beautiful experience. So to get back in there, we got to be brave enough, courageous enough to allow the pain, to sit with it, to feel the sadness, to go through grief. And this is exactly why most people escape. This is exactly why most people are stuck in the mind, because connecting with the heart is it's painful. It's not just sunshine and rainbows all day long. It's like, it's all emotions. So it's love and sadness. It's happiness and grief. You will get both. That's very difficult. And as a man, well, I don't know if there's a difference between women and men in this
I guess that's the society that's usually like telling men, okay, you need to be strong and don't show your emotions and it's weak. But for me, even if I see a man cry, I'm like, oh, this is so beautiful. And I just saw like one very strong man cry at the end of the workshop that he gave us. I was like, oh my God, he's crying because he's so moved how we were receiving his workshop after 2 days. I was like, and I didn't see him as weak. I saw him as super powerful when he was like crying and saying that, oh my God, thank you everybody for being here, for being in my workshop and allowing me to lead you. I was like, yes, this is so beautiful.
Yeah, I can appreciate it when I see it. So of course, there's a difference between, like, I hope the words I use will get received the way I mean them. I meant to say it, because it's not, for example, going to the gym. You don't feel your way to the gym. But we'll get to the mental battery in a bit. Also, to allow yourself to cry, don't become weak and cry about everything and be emotionally unstable. That's not what I mean with allowing your emotions. So it's about intelligence, it's about tolerance, and it's about knowing how to express yourself. Because if you cannot express the emotion, well, men will get angry. They were like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what's going on within me. So I don't have any stability. I don't have any strength within myself because I don't know what's going on. I feel shit. I'm running away from it, and it's your fault. Like, that happens a lot because there's no intelligence within the emotions. Now, if you don't have that as a man, well, how strong a man are you? If you cannot handle your own grief, if you cannot handle your own sadness, wow, that's not a strong man to me.
And it's beautiful that I have all these emotions. I think it's like from a song, but it was made famous by the movie Moulin Rouge that I've been watching like 15 times at least. And there's this one sentence that I really love. And the sentence is, the greatest thing you will ever learn is just to love and be loved in return. So it's kind of like about emotions, about love. But of course, with love, there's also comes some sadness. And in this movie, the main character dies. She loves a lot, but she also dies.
Yeah.
But still, it's the greatest thing. It's still the most beautiful thing, just to feel fully.
Yeah. And what happens? What happens is, if we run from the pain, if we don't allow the pain, we don't allow love. Because it's like you have this amount. You're in the middle. This is love. This is pain. And if you don't allow the pain, you don't allow the love. So what happens is you close yourself. You close yourself, and that's what they call it numb. comfortably numb. It's like you don't feel anything. Like what's going on with you? I don't know. I don't. Fuck. I feel shit. Well, what is shit? I don't know. It's just fuck.
And you can't even name.
You can't even name how you feel. You
Yeah.
have no idea. So, emotion is energy, emotion. So it should go through you. You should experience it, and it doesn't even last that long. But it's and if we don't allow it, it will get stored all over the place in the body.
The body keeps the score.
Body keeps the score. So men, for example, lower back pain is a very common thing with men because they don't express their emotions. It's like that energy gets stuck in the lower back because of the tension of not knowing what to do with emotions. So men get lower back pain. It's a very common thing.
It's my main pain, but I feel that.
Well, you're a man and you don't know what to do with your emotions.
I usually allow myself to feel my emotions. I cry when I want to cry, and I'll just let it out. Usually,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, lower back pain can have many causes, but I know that this is a correlation between the two. Let's say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I have like maybe a little bit, tiny little bit of scoliosis in the lower back, so it's not completely straight. So maybe that's also why. So it's a little bit, it can hurt when I'm doing like super heavy deadlifts or squats.
Yeah.
So I can feel it in the gym.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's actually better. Maybe I'm expressing more.
Could be.
Because I really allow to let it out. I just, I don't know, dance it out, feel it out, and just release. So I can go very intense. I can go into very deep, dark places, but usually it's like over in one day. Hello. This is like a good example of somebody who allows themselves to feel and allows everything out, whatever is coming. You know, animals, they're just so pure in many ways, and they just, you know, they just do whatever they want. They don't ask for permission. They just come to you. Hey, Mio. They're not asking for permission. Hey. So yeah, animals, I guess, they're like good teachers for us. How to feel everything, how to do whatever the hell you want to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I used to hate cats.
Oh.
I love them now. I don't know what changed. I was afraid for them.
Oh.
I got attacked once.
Yeah, that's a black magic one.
Yeah.
Okay, emotional battery. Next one is mental.
Yeah. Yeah. So the mental battery, it's the mindset. Where we put our thoughts, this is where the energy goes, where we put our attention. So if we're not even aware of something, then is it there? Well, maybe no. So if you're aware of the thoughts, well, my mindset actually was one of the first I got to train because if you're in depression, feelings are too intense to understand. It's they don't even talk in words or something. You know, I don't know. I didn't have the intelligence. So it was first mindset. Okay, my thoughts are not healthy because my thoughts, my imagination is literally showing me how I can jump off a building, how I can cut my wrist, how I can jump in front of a train, how I can jump in the ocean off the cliff. Like, and what's true? These were my thoughts and my imagination. I was like, well, this is not good. This is not healthy.
Yeah.
It's not normal. And that realization, that insight, was one of the biggest blessings because I became aware of the fact that I was sick.
That was like the mental level.
Yeah.
This fact, okay, I'm sick.
Yeah. First, I didn't even know I was sick. In the manic episode, I thought everyone was crazy. I didn't believe I was crazy. I didn't have zero awareness of me being sick at that time. Yeah, zero. So it was a blessing to understand, okay, I might be sick. There might be something wrong with my thought patterns. And actually what we think, well, we act on it. So we have thoughts, they become more intense, they form beliefs, which will shape your reality. It shapes the perception of the world, how you see things, what you believe is true. And well, I got the label of sick and patient. And it was like, okay, well, this is my reality now. And that became my identity. And from that identity, having the thoughts of being sick, being a patient, I thought I will never have friends. I will never have a job. I was 26 back then. just imagine. Okay, I'm 26 now, and I used to work as a social worker, so I did see heavy cases of people being mentally ill.
Mm.
So I thought, okay, this is my reality now.
Mm.
Well, that's not an existence to me. So
Yeah.
so why would I want to live? Come on, I'm not gonna sit somewhere between not one cute cat, but between 20 cats shitting all over the place, smoking my cigarettes,
Yeah.
drinking my coffee, having to get something like a wheelchair or something at the age of 40 because my legs are off.
Oof.
Yeah, that was really my image. I thought that was
So
gonna
that-
be my
So
future.
that was
I
the
was like,
story you were telling yourself. But you know,
yes.
your mind believes anything and everything you tell to your
Yeah.
mind. So you can start telling a better story, which I guess you did.
Well, yeah, it's not that simple. Well, it's that simple, but it's not easy.
Mhm.
It's like, well, just tell a different story. Well, I didn't know. I didn't have anyone next to me saying, you might want to change the narrative.
Mm.
Like, not everyone is aware that we hold the pen of our life.
Yeah.
We have some chapters, but there's many blank pages. And we can create a new narrative. I didn't know.
You were not into this self-development and growth
Not
thing
at all,
before.
zero. I didn't believe in God. I
Mhm.
was not in self-development. Okay, I did work out sometimes,
Mhm.
but that was it. No healthy food. So, yeah, my thoughts were not supportive,
Mhm.
and my perception of reality in the world was not helpful. It was very distractive, destroying.
Yeah. She
Coming to my
decided.
face, I'm like,
Yeah, she decided that.
don't come to my face.
Yeah, she decided you are her person now.
Nice.
She's the
You
same
didn't see
in.
her on the black. I like it.
Yeah. She's the same in human design, manifesting generator.
Yeah,
So you're like
yeah,
buddies.
yeah, nice.
Yeah.
So yeah, thoughts. You keep thinking form beliefs,
Mhm.
and beliefs shape reality.
Mm.
What's true about the world? Well, some people say it's the most beautiful place to live in, and others say I'm not gonna get children because this world is fucked up.
Mm.
So what do you believe? Einstein asked, "Is the universe a friendly place?"
Mm.
Well, that answer on that one question tells you a lot about a person and
Mhm.
how they see reality.
So is the universe a friendly place for you?
Yeah, it's cruel as well.
Mm. Cruel and
It,
friendly.
it can be both. Depends where you put your attention on and your energy.
Mm.
But I think it's very beautiful, friendly place. Yes, yes.
But it
And
also
hard.
also depends
Life's not fair.
on your perception, how you decide to perceive the universe, whether it's friendly or cruel. So it's also coming from you. How you choose to react to it and respond.
Yeah, 100%. It all depends on you. Everything depends on you.
Mhm.
What I thought in a depression, I thought, okay, when I'm not here, it doesn't matter. The universe will go on. What I didn't know is that that's not true, because the universe through these eyes would be completely gone. There would be one universe less.
Mhm.
It's not like it would simply move on. It would have been gone if I was not there. Like, this perception of universe will be gone. But not going too deep in that, mindset is, well, it's your attitude also. Mindset goes combined with your character. For example, do I see something as a setback, or does it add something to the story? Like, setback can come, you say, well, fuck me, why me? And that's like a victim mindset. Everything happens to you. Things can happen for you. So you could say, hey, this is pretty cool. It just makes my story bigger. For example, I'm training for Ironman and I crashed my bike. Second bike crash, but now the bike is dead. And, well, now what? I'm not gonna do the race?
Of course you are.
Or, of course I am.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Yeah.
well, this sucks.
Mhm.
My bike is dead. I'm pretty fine. It's difficult, yeah. Well, wouldn't it be cool? Finishing the finish line, finishing the race, lost two phones, two bikes. It's like stories. It's like so many things came up, and they all made me
Yeah.
stronger. They all made me persevere and
Yes.
not give up and have faith and grow patient and become flexible and creative and find solutions. Because if you want to get somewhere, if you want something out of life, then go and get it.
Sometimes,
keep attacking, nothing will stay in front of you.
Sometimes when I'm like in the deepest shit, I kind of even try to think like this. Okay, now it's super shit, it's super bad, but this will be like a fun story once it's over.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay, I'm gonna get through this. It sucks. It completely sucks right now, but it will be like a fun story to tell at some point. I'm like, okay, I will get through this. I will get through this. Even like when I was in Malaysia, I thought I was going to die, or like I don't know, I was going to be raped by this very random guy. I was still like, okay, everything's fine. This is going to be a story. I have my guardian angel. My father is watching me, and yeah, it was all fine. It was kind of miraculously I got out and everything was fine. So now it's just a story. So even in the darkest
it's not
places,
just a story. It's actually the things you think will become truth. In psychology, they call it self-fulfilling prophecy. So the thoughts you have, you're gonna use words with them. For example, before I had the big crash, I was saying I got many setbacks, which they call the law of Murphy. I think if one thing goes bad, everything goes bad. It's the mindset you're in. So I had setbacks after setbacks, and I was like, okay, it's one setback, a second, and come at me, hit me again. And well, yeah, they came, so I keeping the score of setbacks. Well, good luck, man.
Like a collector.
And my thoughts were, I am going crazy. And I remember myself saying to my friends, it was in COVID time, they went to Spain on vacation. I got COVID. I couldn't join them on vacation. I was like, this is setback number 11. And, if I can go on vacation, you got to lock me up because I'm going crazy. I literally use these words. Like, I remember myself saying it. I remember it. Fuck. A few months later, they locked me up in the crazy house because I was crazy.
Yeah. So it happened.
It really happened.
Yeah.
It literally happened. And it happens so often because people are like, people think out of fear most of the time. So if you think from fear and you say, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, this is going to happen, well, it will happen. But if you say, the beautiful thing will happen, it's also true. But it's easier for people to say the negative because they already had that proof. The proof is mostly there. And they already had the proof of the negative. That's why we think that way. It's programmed from the past. So thinking that way is easier. But the other way around is also true. You think happy thoughts and you use better words. How do you feel? Well, I just feel good. Or what's happening? Well, I don't know. I just think happy thoughts. I feel good. Everything is working out for me. And these are like very simple phrases I started to use. Everything is always working out for me.
Yeah.
I'm the best. I'm strong. God is always with me. I'm a winner. And today is my day. Simple, very easy, like a mantra. And I would repeat it all day long, every single day, all day long. Repeat it. Until, well, I truly believe these things now.
Yeah.
Before it was a lie, but
now we're thriving.
Yeah, and another one, which is very powerful in mindset, is the questions we ask. Because if I say, why does it happen to me? Well, the answer is going to be very simple, because you're a piece of shit.
It happens for you.
Exactly. But if you ask, if I have, why me? The answer is because you're a piece of shit. It becomes very easy. Very. But if you ask, okay, what is great around this problem? What am I learning right now? Why is this the best thing that could happen to me? Or why doesn't it happen for me?
Like also, I guess it's also very important to ask the right kind of questions. In Mind Valley, there's this concept called lofty questions. So you maybe wake up and then you ask things like, okay, why am I the most amazing person in the world? Or something, why do I have like €1,000,000? And then your mind will start looking for proof for this question. So you don't maybe have all that right now, but you should keep asking these lofty, these big questions. The universe will start giving you some proof why you are so amazing, why everything is coming for you, why you have this abundance, love, whatever. So you just ask bigger things. Okay, why am I so amazing? You just wake up. Oh, why am I I don't know, the best person in the world, whatever.
Yeah. So it goes two ways. I believe we can. I always say brainwash the shit out of yourself. Brainwash yourself. If you don't like a belief, get it out of there. Brainwash yourself to a new belief. Now how? Repetition. It's like using muscles. So just come up with a mantra or a belief that's counterproductive to, or controversial to the belief you hold. And if we repeat that long enough, it's like putting a seed in good soil, and we start to believe it. Now, when we believe it, it hits the feelings. And feelings are the most strong. You think happy thoughts, you keep thinking happy thoughts, you feel well, and feelings make things happen. Like feeling good makes things really happen. Yeah. The other way is, or the subconscious mind is, I think that's what you mentioned. It's like you can just ask yourself to get out of somewhere. For example, I'm using this when I'm taking off medication. Like in the last 3 years, I'm working towards zero medication. I'm using my lifestyle as a medicine instead of relying on medication.
Lifestyle as a medicine.
Yeah.
This sounds beautiful.
Yeah, we'll get to the physical battery. This is truly how I use the 4 batteries and how I'm gonna walk through life without medication. I had pretty hard medication. So when I taper it off, it's like quitting smoking. So in the last 2 years, I quit smoking. Well, once truly and 8 times with medication. It's like my body craving something. On those moments, my thoughts and feelings become more intense, and they're screaming to escape. So I have cravings towards. Out of a sudden, I think about weed or about a cigarette.
So how do you quit? Do you substitute it with something or?
No. It's being aware and doing inner work. That's why I'm so passionate about doing the inner work, because we don't need any replacement. It's just being strong enough to bear the uncomfort. That's it.
Yeah, I feel that
because
for
it's
me,
a tolerance.
Yeah.
It's like sitting in the dark. Your eyes will adjust to it, and it will go away. Your body will adapt to it. Now, with the subconscious mind, I have this dialogue with myself. I remember one specific time. I wanted a cigarette. I was like, "Oh, just go to the store. Maybe you're gonna have one. Maybe you have the power. Maybe you don't." Well, it was closed. I saw that as a beautiful sign. Then I went on a walk, and I just started to talk to myself. I'm feeling very weak, but I know the strong version of myself is in there. This was my self-talk. I know there's a strong motherfucker in there, and I need you right now. Yeah, it feels like the weak person of me is the captain at the moment. Now you get out of there and let the strong man drive. And well, that's talking to a subconscious, and it happened. So that strength that came. So I took control, and I did a walk and push-ups and all other things to flow the energy somewhere instead of falling back on substances like drinking, smoking, and that.
Yeah, I feel for me it's maybe even a little bit hard to understand because I have smoked like 0 cigarettes in my life. I have never done drugs. I had only had a little bit of alcohol and I never really liked it. So I'm like the classic nerd. So I've always been quite stable in a way. So it's like maybe I was, I don't know, addicted to sugar at some point, eating some candies and stuff, but it's like like kind of hard to understand all this addiction thing.
Okay, so let me think. Have you ever tried to switch habits?
Yes, yeah, I've tried to like get rid of the sugar cravings.
Yeah. How did that work?
When I'm like in a stable emotional place, all good.
Of
but
course.
when it's like when it gets like a little bit downwards, I'm also an emotional eater. Then it can really, I can even like my rational mind is saying no, don't do it.
It's the same.
My emotion is like okay, I just need it.
There's no difference.
Yeah, I just can't resist sometimes the sugary things.
Yeah.
But for me, it's about not having these things in the house. Then it's easier.
Yeah.
If I don't have it around, it's much easier to stop myself.
It's that craving. It's the desire of something. It's desiring something. That's it. It's that easy. So there's no real difference between a cigarette or sugar or alcohol. I don't think so. It's the craving which we don't like. That's the most difficult part, and that's why we need to be emotionally strong. Because when we crave something, we feel shit most of the time. We feel empty, or we want to fill something from outside in. So it's like it's emptiness, and I need sugar or a cigarette or social media even. When you desire, when you crave to watch a movie or binge watch a series, or there's no difference in being addicted to cocaine and heroin than to sugar and TV. Now this might be something where, fuck you, what are you saying? I'm not a heroin addict. I do love my Snickers and chocolate. Well, it's kind of the same concept, I believe. It's the same concept. If you don't have it, you crave it. So, well, that's desire, first days of addiction. And that uncomfort is the same. Now, how intense is the craving? You could ask for someone who's addicted to alcohol or to sugar. But while you experience anxiety eating, me too. I think many people know this addiction. It's intense. And to sit there and to allow that stuff to be there and not eating it, that's difficult. But that uncomfort, that's something we should be able to handle. That's something we have to be able to handle with our mind and with our emotion. If we can bear that and let go of the instant gratification, we will come much further in life. It's the most successful people, it's the greatest people who are able to let go of instant gratification and, well, become successful and great, because they practice delayed gratification. And we can only work on delayed gratification if it's worthwhile pursuing something. So that's where the spiritual battery kicks in again. So you got spiritual battery, which will get you through in the long term. They have the emotion and mind, which is constantly happening all the time. And then we have the physical battery, which is the last one, where we think we need to eat something to feel good, where it's a cigarette, where it's a smoke, where it's, well, actually outside ourselves. And from there we take it in and we feel good. It could even be with a person, with a relationship. People say, well, that person makes me whole or feel complete, or, well, that's unhealthy if you ask me. It should always come from within. And if you are happy with yourself, then you can combine strengths. Let's say.
It's different. It's different. Like when two healthy persons go into a relationship, and they don't need to be completed by the other, but they just kind of complement and enhance each other's lives. So it's not like one person is like so empty that they need like this support. So it's completely different.
Yeah. A physical world goes, well, it's actually creation. So it's what already happened. And if you see to body keeps the score, if you look at someone's body, you can see past decisions. And maybe now I look healthy because I work out a lot, but still when I'm training for Ironman, my heart rate, I'm not fast in running. I'm not a beast in swimming. I face my old self every time in training. Because I'm like, fuck, are you kidding me? Like this running pace? But my heart is telling me, well, you have been living unhealthy for 12 years. You think your mind of your heart is going to be from a top athlete in 2 years? Nah, that takes a lot of training. So there is, well, the score is still in there of my past decisions. So sometimes it looks like there's nothing left from the past, but I think it's always something. Well, who we are right now is based on our decisions we made in life. Besides that, physical battery is actually a simple triangle of training and movement, nutrition and fasting, and rest and recovery. Like those are the three things. And then having habits and routines installed in place. Yeah.
So what does a typical routine look like, a typical day in terms of physical, maybe also like the mental part is in it?
Well, yeah, so the beautiful thing to be charged is, well, you charge your phone every day almost, no?
Yeah.
Yeah. So we got to charge ourselves every day. It's not like I go to the spa once a month. That's not where the magic
You
happens.
sleep once a month.
Yeah. It's like, well, I don't sleep for the weekend. I'll just sleep 1 hour extra during the week. It doesn't work like that. It's consistency and it's habits. It's like every day you want to charge all of it a little bit. So that's where the magic happens. So there are certain non-negotiables for me. Certain non-negotiables that will happen no matter where I am. For example, meditation is a there's no day without meditation, like zero.
What kind of meditation? There are so many different
Doesn't
versions
matter.
of it.
It's like
Yeah.
you can do yoga, you can do volleyball, basketball, sprinting, swimming, cycling. Doesn't matter. Move. Meditation. What kind of meditation? Well, you can do silent. You can do guided. You can do chanting mantras. Doesn't matter.
Which one do you do?
All of it.
All of it.
All of it.
So
It
wake
depends.
up and you say,
So,
okay,
how
today.
would a certain routine looks like? I wake up at 5
okay.
a.m. I wake up at 5. Fine. I wash my face. I grab some water. I hydrate with some salt. And I always do this certain routine to warm up all joints of the body. Then I go for workout. So I move. It could be mobility, do some qigong like a monk, or I'm going for a run or a bike. So after I come home, stretch a little bit, complete the training. There is a cold shower for mental toughness, I would say, and to shock the body for inflammation. Well, behind everything is an intention and reason, but so there's the shower, and then I have meditation, journaling, and I pray. So it's a reflection part. It's real inner work. So I move, inner work, and then I do something about studying, growing. So I read, or there's a podcast. I love reading, so mostly it's a physical book, and I write. So I articulate myself. What do I try to express? What do I want to help people with? So it's on mission-driven writing. So that's the routine actually. Yeah.
So it's kind of like from the 5 a.m. club book.
Well, Ramesh Sharma is one of my biggest teachers.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's actually probably my biggest teacher. Also the 4 batteries. But he talks about the 4 interior empires. And I started to work with the 5 a.m. club, and I still work through that routine. Now it expanded. So let's say he's one of my teachers, and it has expanded towards, well, different things. But it's still that routine. That book changed my life, not by reading it, but by applying it. So you can read something, you got information. Well, good luck. It's about applying something, practicing it. So, yeah, I still notice myself phrasing Roman Sharma because I studied his work so much. I'm not even like trying to copy anything. It's like, but I read it so often. I studied it so much. I have lived it for many years now. It's like, well, I'm breathing it. This is who I became.
But it's kind of like part of your identity.
Yeah. And it's,
So morning is the most important for you to get things right. Kind of like win already early.
Yes. So there's no phone in the morning. Like you wake up, you grab your phone and you check message. You either have too many messages, so you get stressed, or not enough, so you're not important. Like it doesn't matter what's on there, you're disappointed most of the time. And that's how we go in the day. So it fucks our mind. So it's like putting on the armor. Life is cruel. Life is going to battle. Life is not fair. It's difficult. It's hard for everyone. So many things happen. We want to be ready for it. So we want to train for that. We want to train for hardship. That's why I always work on self-mastery on the individual and to rely on ourselves because heavy things happen. Now, the morning routine is to battle-proof yourself for the day. So it's like putting on armor. It's like going to battle. You put on the shins, you put on the shoulders, you grab your shield, you put on the helmet.
So every day is like a battle for you.
Well, no, it's not. Because I'm strong.
But you're ready for the battle.
Well, it becomes a battle if you don't prepare yourself. So if you don't prepare yourself, stress is like fight or flight. So all small things happening outside will have an impact on you without even knowing. You're tensing, you're not alert, you don't feel strong or competent. So when you have enough time with yourself in the morning where you can battle proof yourself, you will be calm. It's like a feeling of anything can happen. It doesn't matter. Traffic, I don't give a shit. My mind is calm. I did the inner work. I can get fired. Well, who cares? Someone breaks up with you. Well, who gives a shit? You move on because you're strong enough to handle anything that comes at you. And well, is life a battle? Well, yeah, it is, isn't it?
I don't know.
If you prepare yourself well, they say warrior those who sweat more in training bleed less in war.
Yeah.
So the morning is like training, and you sweat, and you bleed less in war, which means the days are more easy because you put in the work. Putting in the work on a day-to-day basis is what makes life easier. If you do hard things, life becomes easier. The other way around is the same.
I feel that I've been in the warrior mode for too long. So I was a marathon runner for 10 years. Now I've been a bodybuilder for 5 years. And I've always been putting maybe even too much stress on myself. So I'm the opposite. So, and sometimes I even feel guilty for not having big traumas or big transformations. Okay, I lost my father when I was 23 years old. I got a divorce. So there are like some traumas that I'm even feeling guilty because I wasn't scarred too much. And I got out of it quite easily. I'm like, should I be more hurt, more in pain? I'm like, should I be fighting more? Or maybe I'm just demanding too much from myself. I don't know.
Well, you probably do know.
I'm demanding a lot from myself, and I'm kind of like putting myself through suffering. So I feel that now maybe I'm even in a little bit different place where I'm trying to suffer less and fight less.
Well, it sounds like suffering and fighting, like a morning routine and putting on the armor and doing hard things.
I don't know. For me,
but it's not really like that. I must say, it's a combination of that. It's like routines and habits. They seem like doing hard things all the time, but how difficult is it to sit with yourself and meditate? Like that's not that's not like action. I have to perform. It's like really relaxing, actually. Spending time with yourself in silence, not having to do anything, gives a lot of room for emotion. So it's not just heart, mind, like battle proof and strong. It's actually using the mind and using those things to get to a certain point within yourself for stability and safety within yourself, that it doesn't matter where you walk, what you do, whatever. There's safety and stability, and that gives room to feel. That gives room because you don't have to fight to all of the things. You don't have to perform. So when you have that safety and stability within yourself, it actually allows you to let go of that hardship. But it's a combination. By doing it, it gives the room to not do it. And keep doing it. Well, I get that feeling. That's the difficult part. Mostly when you're used to fighting so much, let's say, it's very hard to let go of it.
Yeah. I've been very much in the masculine and this warrior mode, but I'm like, should I really push myself so hard? And why I'm not celebrating myself? I'm not celebrating my wins. I'm always like, okay, what's next? What's the next big thing? So whenever I achieve something that I wanted, I'm like, okay, next. So I feel that for me, it's about stopping, pausing, and really celebrating the moment as well. But yeah, I didn't notice this before, but people keep telling me that, okay, Silja, why are you not celebrating yourself? You're doing so many things. I'm like, oh, am I? I didn't even notice. Because for me, it's normal to do stuff and just do things that other people might consider difficult. Oh, okay, get on the bodybuilding stage. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to lose all the weight and just starve myself and be in deficit. And for me, it's quite normal, but other people are like, oh my God, this is so heavy. So yeah, I feel for me it's about still pushing, but also celebrating. Because I guess some people don't celebrate themselves, and that's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Also, yes, doing a lot of things, being the warrior, but also when you win the battle, celebrate. Have a feast or something. Well, not okay, don't overeat, but do something nice for yourself.
Yeah, you could ask yourself, am I on the path where I want to be?
Mm.
Because mostly there's no celebration needed.
Mm.
For me, there's no needed. I don't need a party.
Mm.
The party is doing what I'm doing. That's
Mm.
party enough because that brings true fulfillment and joy.
Mm.
So I don't need a party. The party is already happens, which is live in the present moment.
Mm.
I don't have to perform for anyone. I'm not doing this to get a pat on the back or for a medal or a certain authority. I don't care.
You're doing it for yourself.
Yeah.
Mm.
And I just love to amaze myself. That's why I'm doing
Mm.
it. It's not for a title. It's not for recognition because that's all outside.
Mm.
It's telling other people, telling you you're good enough or to perform at a certain level. So other people say like, wow, what are you all doing? But if it's for the recognition of others,
Mm.
well, should come from ourselves, I believe.
Mm.
And once we do what we should do, and we're truly on that path of having that mission, um, then still the key there for me is to set a goal that's so big that I can never achieve.
Mm.
But it's like the top of a mountain somewhere in the back, but I have to have some milestones in between. So okay, I first go for this mountain. And then you climb the mountain, you get all the challenges, and you make it, but just before you're on top of the mountain, you should look for the next peak.
Mm.
Because we just got on top of the mountain, we're like, fine, would I like to climb? What am I doing? But we should take a break, sit there for a second,
Enjoy
and be
the
like,
view.
this is a pretty cool freaking view.
Yeah.
And look back at, wow, that was a climb.
Mm.
And then look up. They're like, but I just come here, and now I go there? Cool.
Mm.
Let's go to the next one. I rested enough. So for me, for now, for example, I just came out of 6 week workshop series. And then I take a few weeks maybe to reflect for a moment and to say, okay, this is pretty cool.
Mm-hmm.
And now we got to go to the next project.
Next level.
Next level. Yeah. So I give myself a moment to enjoy the view and be like, okay, what did I like about the climb? What was beautiful? Where do I come from? Like 3 years ago, I was in depression. What am I doing now?
Now
It's
you're
phenomenal.
inspiring other people. So you have kind of like become this inner winner, and now you're teaching other people. So in which ways are you helping others?
Yeah, which way am I helping others? I work on different projects. One is to finish a full triathlon. So it's 3.8 swim, 180 by bike, and then run a marathon. That I believe I'm capable of that is I never even thought about running 10 kilometers.
Yeah.
So that I'm doing because with that I can that's my way of using my batteries, becoming the best version of myself. And once I overcome my own obstacles, lead by example, and make the impossible happen for myself, that's where I found the belief of continuing inspiring others, which I do in coaching, one-on-one coaching in a winner method, which is based with the 4 batteries, and then through workshops and training and speaking. So that's what I love to do. Yeah, and I'm currently writing a book. So I would say
That's exciting.
Yeah.
What's it about?
It's about what we talk about, but then in a storytelling way, written.
So kind of
So
like
I hope because there are many people who don't care much about self-development. If I look to myself back in the day, well, probably I wouldn't even read a book. But if I would have read a book, and most books that make an impact on me, it's storytelling. I don't want the 7 step to this or that. I love a good story, and I think most people love a good story.
Yeah.
So I try to extract the wisdom and knowledge I got from, let's say, hell rock bottom. I try to extract it from myself put it in a story, in a book, so that if people read it, it speaks to, well, mostly men. It speaks to the unconscious and and wakes up hunger. Yeah.
So why does it speak mostly to men? What's different between men and women? How is it mostly resonating with men? Why do you think?
What do I think? Because I went on a quite deep inner journey as a man. And it took me a while to say, okay, I'm strong as a man.
Mm.
I trust myself. I have the safety and stability, which I can bring to people around me. And I believe a lot of suffering in the world comes from men not being brave enough to face their own suffering.
Mm.
Once men are brave enough to face their own suffering, that safety and stability will have a ripple effect around them. And that inner journey might be different for women. So it's mostly to men. I think there's a need for strong men, not just masculine, grind your bowels off all day, but also emotional stability and being enough. And well, yeah, it feels good. Let's say I have this. I don't know. It feels good.
So where can people find you if they want to work with you?
Currently on LinkedIn and WhatsApp. Those are the two things I use, and on my website.
So you're off social media.
Yes.
Is there a reason to this?
Yes, I love it. I love to be in the present moment. I don't like to be distracted. I'm very focused and driven on the projects I do. And I love to have all attention in the present moment because that's where life happens. And I used to use Instagram, but I noticed myself seeing things through an Instagram lens. It was like, I can share this, I should capture this, I should share this and this and that. And I was like, fuck,
so
I try to live my life, I try to go to the gym and
not
eat
enjoying
my steak.
not enjoying the moment, but just okay, is this Instagrammable?
Yeah, well, attention span is very rare these days. People are distracted all the time, and that's the first step of suffering, being distracted, your mind wandering from where you are at. So we should be present, we should be here right now. And by using social media, I get myself out of the present moment, and I invite other people to get out of the present moment because they're sitting somewhere, and just for a small second the conversation becomes uncomfortable. And instead of being brave enough, people unconsciously seek a way out, grab their phone and scroll and see some freaking cat videos or me flexing in the gym. Like, who cares? Fuck. You can use it as a tool. Many people do it. It's beautiful. There are some good things in there. I don't like it. I don't like it. I love to live in. Oh, I love to live in the present moment and not be distracted too much. So I decided to quit social media. I'm off for 4 months now, and I love it. So I'm currently on LinkedIn because it's a bit more professional, gives me a bit more privacy. I can dose how much I share and how often, and I like it. Yeah.
I'm also starting to question all this social media stuff nowadays. I feel that I want to do more like long form content and just, these short videos on Instagram or just dancing on the reels. It's like, I used to love it as a creative expression because for me, creativity is very important. But now I'm feeling like, ugh. And everything looks the same on Instagram. Everything is repetitive. Everybody is selling something. I'm like, ugh.
Yeah.
It's getting exhausting already.
Yeah, and that's actually one of another reasons why I quit it, because well, in the field of self-development, making an impact, I think you know the same. You know many people who are in coaching, who are in speaking, who work out and all of that stuff. And I noticed myself on certain moments having social media, and then I see things and I compare myself with people. It has nothing to do with the other people. It's just me comparing myself to someone else. And comparison, well, here I have a beautiful phrase of Robin Sharma, comparison is the thief of joy.
Yeah.
So when you compare yourself to others, you get distracted from your own work. When we keep looking at others, he's further on the journey than me, or well, we compare ourselves. It's not good.
And it doesn't happen on LinkedIn.
No, somehow no. Some people are, and a lot of people are not authentic at all on social media, which is which me included back then. If I check my Instagram page, I love what I put on there. Why? To put myself out there and stand for the mission and overcome the fear of criticism and rejection because of all the comments people give, which I used to be afraid of. To put myself out there was a beautiful journey. But if I look back, then there was not a clear message. I believe there was not me being authentic. It was just, hey, meditation. Yo, I work out at the moment and I got a hook and there's a call to action in the caption. And fuck, it was draining my batteries.
Yeah.
That's why I quit. It was draining my batteries. It was like, this is not you. This is pretending. And pretending drains us the most. When we act, when we put on the mask, it drains so much. There's no thing better in the world than just being you, being authentic, and express yourself and who you are, whatever way that may be. You do you, I do me, whatever that may be. That's what I love to say. So do whatever you like.
You chose yourself over the social media.
Yeah, I got drained before by pretending, by putting on a mask, by playing like a monkey. I'm not doing it again.
Wow. That's a deep realization.
Yeah.
It's like no time for monkey business.
No.
Just a serious business now.
Yeah. And many people say I can't. Well, you can, but you're just not prepared to do it.
You don't want to.
The bill people have to pay is too high. Well, yeah, I got a financial hit as well because I used to know people through Instagram. But I was like, you know what? What is more important, my personal health or my wallet? Well, for me, it's simple because I lost my health before. I'm never gonna lose my health again. It's priority number one. Other people, well, they like business more, and they're like, they don't want to quit social media, and which is fine. Everyone makes their own decision. What I'm just trying to say is that don't say there's not a door. Don't say there's not an option. There's always more options than you realize. It's just, do you want to see it as an option? Because it's difficult and the hard way.
Yeah. You got into this, so you can also get out of this.
Yeah.
You created the account at some point and you can also delete it if you don't want it anymore.
Yeah.
I guess it's the feeling that, okay, once I create it, it's going to be there forever. I am on social media forever now.
I'll probably be back on social media.
Yeah, whenever I feel like it. And it feels good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess at some point I was also doing TikTok in Estonian and also kept saying that I'm only going to do this as long as I feel good. When it stops feeling fun, I'm going to stop. And I got like a lot of comments, a lot of hate. And at some point I was like, okay, I don't feel good anymore. I want to stop. So I just quit TikTok. I still have the account. I might go back, never know. But if I go, I will just do it on my own terms and share whatever I want to share. And don't just follow anybody else's advice, just my own heart. Because I want to feel good. And it's up to me to feel good. So it's my own responsibility, you know.
Wise decision.
Yeah.
We can listen to advice. Just be careful who you take advice from.
Yeah, usually
and also with strategies, people can say you should do this.
Oh, I don't listen to people very much.
Well, all they say there's more ways leading to Rome, no?
Yeah.
So they're all proven. It's the same in nutrition. What's the best diet?
There is no one diet that fits everybody. I even wrote a book about it in Estonian. So it's about finding your own personalized way of eating, but there is no one way that fits everybody. But there is a way that fits you. And it's up to you to find out what it is. So in that book, I was also talking about different ways of eating, different possible diets. And I also gave some tips that are like always true. Okay, eat as clean food as possible. whole foods, less processed, uh, no pesticides, no toxins. But it's, this is like common sense. And it can be on carnivore diet, it can be the same on vegetarian,
Yeah, you say it's
vegan.
common sense.
No, it's not. No?
Well, it is. But most things are common sense. So actually, this is, thanks for pointing it out. This is what I'm trying to do within my speaking, my coaching, and everything. Simplify. Because we live in a world, the information is out there. There's too much information, maybe.
That's true.
People get, well, it's like, what is, I don't know what it's called, but people get paralyzed by the amount of information, but by the amount of options. When we go back to common sense, fuck, it's so simple.
It's simple, yeah.
Of course, you shouldn't eat the Big Mac with a milkshake and fries as breakfast.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but I don't know which diet to choose. Come on, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
And
start
but I get
simple
it.
things.
I get it. It's like distracting and too many things. So I'm trying to simplify. To simplify for a few simple rules, because the most, well, it's underestimated how simple it is. Those 4 batteries have one habit on every battery. Do that every day. See your life improve. It's really that easy.
Yeah, whenever I coach people, I realize that they don't even know the basic things. So for me, these are like so self-explanatory, because I was that teenager as 14 years old who was using these old school nutrient calculators. So that was like 20 years ago. I was already playing with these. I was super excited about food. I asked for cookbooks for Christmas and birthdays. So I was going very deep into this already as a teenager. Like I said, I was the nerd always. But for some people, they don't even know where protein comes from. They don't know how carbs affect the blood sugar. So I've had one client for 1.5 years, and we still go into the basic stuff. He's mostly focusing on running and like running a marathon very soon. But we're also talking about the healthy fats, the protein intake, and then giving him these very tiny tasks. Like, okay, for this week, try to get your protein intake to this level, and try to even start reading the labels on the foods, just to find out where protein comes from. He doesn't have to do it for forever, but I guess it's very useful to just do it for maybe a few weeks, just to get to know what the food includes, because many people don't even have an idea what different foods include. For me, this is so basic because I've been in this for a long time. I also became a nutritionist 10 years ago. So for me, it's super simple, but people actually need this basic knowledge as well.
Yes, and I think there's the greatest opportunity for, well, professionals in whatever field. Simplify. Learn how to simplify the deep knowledge that you have to a certain language that anyone can understand you. Metaphors, for example, storytelling. Those ways are, and it depends on the audience you have. But if you try to talk to a big audience, then a message should be very simple. If you're a specialist and you train specialists, well, then you can go granular and deep. But mostly it's about simplifying things, and extracting the simple wisdom out of the chaos of all information and all deep knowledge and experiences, because you can talk about everything, but people won't understand. And who do you want to help? Do you want to sound interesting, or do you want to help people?
Do you want to
Just
be,
like
do you want to be interested in the people you're serving, or do you want to be interesting yourself?
Yeah.
Because if you're interested in the people,
And
you
I
will
think-
actually make it simpler.
Yeah.
So
And I think you have this with writing a book,
yeah.
which is, I think that's where you get challenged to do this.
Yeah, as well. And I was in IT for 4 years. I was a technical writer. So basically, I was writing documentation for software. And doing this, I was this person between the developers who like this very complicated language, and they're super in love with everything that they create. They are super in love with the code that they write. And I was this person who was simplifying all this. So the end user who is actually using the software would also understand what this thing is all about. So I actually loved being the simplifier. I love being in the middle of this.
I think it's a super skill. Because
Yeah.
actually it's the first step to growth might be awareness. How do you grow
Yeah.
awareness? By being educated. That's why it's so important to read,
Mhm.
because you will get new perspective.
Mhm.
This is actually how I realized I might be sick, and I might be, well, one of the great. I might be one of the great in line. Like, okay, this guy had a manic episode. This guy had a psychosis. I was like, what? So I might not be crazy, but a genius. And that perspective, that awareness that something else could be possible, it works with everything. It works in nutrition, it works in training, it works in money, it doesn't matter what problem you have. When we have certain thoughts and beliefs around the problem, and once we start to read and do research on it, we grow awareness. We understand, this is why I think this way, and this is why this is working this way. And with that awareness, we can make a change.
Yeah.
Because
Awareness,
we know there are more things.
Always the first step. Awareness.
Well, yeah, but awareness, it's simple to say it's awareness, that's the first step. But it's how do you get awareness? It's by educating yourself. So you have a problem, read a book about it.
So it's a conscious decision to become aware.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
You're aware you have a problem. Now you got to become aware of a solution. And if you don't have it yourself, you're aware you got a problem. Well, grow awareness of the solution. It's where do you put your mind at? Because if you just stay aware of the problem, well, I don't know where that will get you. Right? Okay, I got a problem. I think a lot of people are aware of the problem. Okay, I'm smoking. I'm dying from this. I don't care that I die. Well, you might care that you grow ugly for the next 50 years. You get wrinkles all over the place, your health fall out, you stink, your teeth are, and still somehow that long-term effect, people, I don't know, people don't change. A lot of people don't change, but they are aware of the problem. They're just not aware of what's their solution. Maybe. So how do you educate yourself? Read, do a podcast, listen to people who inspire you, and get their thoughts. Because people who have what you want, they think different. It's always like that. You think different. So you think different, you get different results. So start growing awareness on the solution, which comes through education, I believe. Yeah.
So one good book for people to start with, what would you recommend?
Can I recommend 3 books?
Yes, of course. 3 is a nice number.
I would say the 3 books I breathe and live are Think and Grow Rich. It's the
money mindset, basically. This one.
I don't think it's money mindset.
No.
No, they use money, but it's wealth. And wealth goes beyond money. It's
money is just a tool, right?
Yeah. So the what is it? Auto suggestion, for example. It's all focused on money, but auto suggestion is rewiring the brain. You can use on health. It's persistency. So the disciplines in there are all mental muscles, which are needed for anything, not just for money. So Think and Grow Rich goes beyond money for me. Then the 5 a.m. Club, definitely. It's the favorite one, probably. I studied it. I read it over 10 times, probably. Wow. I studied that book. I live it. I breathe it. I actually went to the Spanish tabs and text the Robert Sharma to come for a workout. Beautiful. Then I got the Breakthrough Code from Tom McCarthy. Brilliant book.
That's the only one I don't know.
Brilliant book. It's the one who simplifies manifestation, visualization, and simple practical steps. There are tools in there, and it's a storytelling book, so it's very easy to read. Those 3 books are incredible, all 3 of them. And it's by studying them. It's not just reading, it's studying and implementing. It's doing what's in the book. They say do it, you get results. People read it, they don't do it, you don't get the results.
Yeah.
It's really, yeah. So those 3 books I would say are brilliant.
So Think and Grow Rich, 5 a.m. Club,
Yes.
and Breakthrough Code.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah.
Any final words for the audience?
Any final words for the audience?
Yeah.
Well, I don't know who would listen to it, but no matter where you are at or what you're going through, there is always a beautiful way out. And if you don't know where to start, just start somewhere.
But just
Do something.
start.
Yeah. There is not coming a perfect day. No. So it's just start somewhere. And the best would say actually is move. Yeah.
Okay, beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.